This is Mohammed Faisal Ameen. I'm from Dr. Ambedkar Law College, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. My topic from for the presentation is the National Human Rights Commission (NHRC). The strange fabric of Indian society and social diversity makes issues of human rights a complex one in India. The problems of Dalits thus goes unnoticed in India as its social Varna divisions had once codified, though it is now a severe punishable offence as per the Article 14 and 15. So yeah, the situation of human rights is in India is a complex one as a result of country's large size and tremendous diversity, its status as a developing country, and its history as a former colonial territory. It is often held, particularly by Indian human rights groups and activists, that members of the Dalit or untouchable caste have suffered and continue to suffer substantial discrimination. Although human rights issues do exist in India, the country is generally not regarded as a human rights concern, unlike other countries in South Asia. Yeah, then the definition of human rights, as per the Section 2 of the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993, human rights means the rights relating to life, liberty, equality, dignity of the individual, or as guaranteed under the Constitution or embodied in the international covenants and enforceable by courts in India. Then there's the definition of international covenants. Then comes the duties. NHRC adheres to different duties wherever violation of human rights is prominently visible. Um, the duties in are to inquire the violations of human rights, to interfere in court proceedings relating to human rights, and yeah, they are subject to the approval of the court. Like the Human Rights Commission cannot blatantly intervene in the proceedings of court until and unless it has been approved by the court itself. Then, if it is approved by the court, then they may do what is necessary. Yeah, another duty is that they can visit any jail or other institution under the state government for the study of the living conditions of inmates and make recommendations for their release. The living standards inside the jail are really very saddening. Uh, they are so bad that the human rights of many individuals are being violated as a whole in the jails. Undertake and promote research in the field of human rights, encourage the efforts of NGOs and institutions working in the field of human rights, study international human rights and make recommendations for effective implementation, spread human rights literacy among various sections of society. The literacy of human rights should be spread. People should be aware about the human rights. Then comes the composition of human rights. The commission shall consist of chairperson who has been a chief justice of Supreme Court, one member who is or has been a judge of the Supreme Court, one member who is or has been the chief justice of a high court, two members to be appointed from amongst the persons having knowledge or practical experience in matters relating to human rights. In addition, the chairperson of four national commissions. They will serve as the ex officio members, and they will be from minorities, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, women. Yeah, this is the diagram for the composition of the NHRC. Then there's a appointment of chairperson and members. The chairperson and members shall be appointed by the president by warrant under his hand and seal. So they shall be appointed by the president. Every appointment under this subsection, that is section 4 subsection 1, shall be made after obtaining the recommendations of the committee consisting of the Prime Minister, Speaker of the House of the People, Minister in charge of the Ministry of Government Ministry of Affairs, Ministry in charge of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Sorry, there's a typing mistake. Ministry of Home Affairs. Leader of the opposition in the House of the People, leader of opposition in the Council of States, deputy chairman of the Council of States. Then the powers of NHRC. What are the powers of NHRC? The Commission shall, while into complaints under this Act, shall have all powers of a civil court trying a suit under CPC 1908, Civil Procedure Code 1908, in particular in respect of the following matters, namely. Yeah, so it will have the powers similar to a civil court. The powers are summoning and enforcing the attendance of witness and examining them on oath, discovery and production of any documents. Then these are various powers. Then the another power that I would like to highlight is the power to require any person to furnish information. So when it comes to powers, this is another power that the NHRC has, where the Commission shall have the power to require any person subject to any privilege which may be claimed by that person under any law for the time being in force to furnish information on such points or matter as, in the opinion of this Commission, may be useful for or relevant to the subject matter of the inquiry, and any person so required shall be deemed to be legally bound to furnish such information within the meaning of section 176, 177 of the IPC. So, the NHRC can ask a person to furnish certain documents. It has all the power to ask a person to furnish certain documents if it feels necessary to do so. Right. Then another power is search and seizure of documents. Yeah. Then the Commission or any other officer not below the rank of a gazetted officer specially authorized in this behalf by the Commission may enter any building or place where the Commission has reason to believe that any document relating to the subject matter of the inquiry may be found, and may seize any such document or take extracts or copies therefrom, subject to the provisions of section 100 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So, as it says, the NHRC, the authorities of NHRC can search and seize documents. It can, you can say in a way, raid a place and seize documents which they they think are necessary for their investigation. All right. Then the NHRC is deemed to be a civil court and act accordingly as prescribed in the Act. Right. So, the Commission shall be deemed to be a civil court, and when any offence is described in section 175, 178, 179, 180 or 228 of the Indian Penal Code is such is committed in the view of presence of the Commission may, after recording the facts constituting the offence and statement of the accused as provided for in the CRPC 1973, forward the case to a magistrate having jurisdiction to try the same, and the magistrate to whom any such case is forwarded shall proceed to hear the complaint against the accused as if the case has been forwarded to him under section 346 of the CRPC 1973. All right. Then every proceeding before the civil court shall be deemed to be a judicial proceeding. Every proceeding before the Commission, this is important, every proceeding before the Commission shall be deemed to be a judicial proceeding within the meaning of section 193, 228 and for the purpose of section 196 of the IPC, and the Commission shall be deemed to be a civil court for all purposes of section 195 and chapter 26 of Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. All right. Then there's this question that does the Commission have its own investigation team? Yes, yes, the commission has its own investigating staff or investigating team headed by the Director General of Police for investigation into complaints of human rights violations. Under the Act, it is open to the Commission to utilize the services of any officer or investigation agency of the central government or any state government. The Commission has associated in a number of cases non governmental organizations in the investigation work. So, there is an investigation team for the NHRC. Earlier there were some doubts regarding this question. So the official website of NHRC itself says that it has its own investigating team, and irrespective of the fact whether it should be whether this question is asked in exam or any other test, I guess the answer is very much clear that the commission has its own investigation team, right? Then what kind of complaints are unacceptable in NHRC? So these are various type of complaints which are unacceptable. The complaints made 1 year later, 1 year after the occurrence of the event of the 1 year after the occurrence of the event shall not be considered as a complaint, shall not be acceptable. Then with regard to matters which are sub judice, which are vague, anonymous, pseudonymous, which are of frivolous nature, which pertain to service matters. All right. Then what is the role of NHRC in safeguarding human rights? Then NHRC has widely dealt with issues relating to application of human rights and has established a reputation of independence and integrity. There are increasing numbers of complaints addressed to the Commission seeking redressal of grievances. NHRC has pursued its mandate and priorities with determination and considerable success. Some famous inventions of NHRC include campaigns against discrimination of HIV patients. And there are some other interventions like the intervention related to the Nhrc village in Noida, UP, where children were sexually abused and murdered. NHRC also helped bringing out in open a multi-crore pension scam in Haryana. It also looked up the case of sterilization tragedy in Chhattisgarh. In spite of many achievements of NHRC, the NHRC has been marred with controversies. For instance, the Batla House encounter in the recent past, where the Commission's report giving clean chit to the Delhi police came under fire from various quarters. All right. Then comes the limitations of NHRC. Again, the limitation, one of the biggest limitation as per me for of NHRC is that one cannot make a complaint after 1 year. That is one of the biggest limitation as I feel. Then NHRC can only make recommendations without the power to enforce decisions. This lack of authority to ensure compliance can lead to outright rejection of its decision too. It is often viewed as a post-retirement destination for judges, police officers, and bureaucrats with political clout. Bureaucratic functioning, inadequacy of funds. There's a typing mistake, I guess. Inadequacy of funds also hamper the working of the Commission. Cannot investigate an event if the complaint was made more than 1 year after the incident, as I previously said. So these were the limitations, and that's all, guys. Thank you so much for